Beginning with bicycle racing, this is a tale of wheels that whirl too fast. Cyclists taking off to whip across the European countryside give proof each year that man's love of speed is older than the motor. Long before the first auto, bike riders were regularly clocking off a mile in less than 2 minutes. By 1905, the bike speed record was up to 50. And in 1941, a cyclist pedaled his way to an amazing 108 miles an hour. In these long-distance Charlie horse derbies, the more the speed, the more the spectators. But when racing bikes are mixed with slippery city streets, somebody's apt to end down. Cheer the speedsters. Hey, where did they come from? Watch out. Near the finish, photographed head-on, the hard-pushing pedalists seem to be laboring on a treadmill. And here at the line is the wild scramble to gloom or glory. For motorcycle racing, take a bicycle. Add a motor to double the speed and triple the danger. And to keep from growing old, try a cross-country spin on a network of cow paths. This surprised cyclist finds himself using his motorcycle for a blanket. Over rocks and rises, cycle speedsters spend as much time in the air as they do on the ground. The pavement begins, the pace quickens, and the race erupts into a finale of falls. The dust eaters, the dirt track racers, flashing furiously down the straightaways and barreling blindly around the curves. To these atom age acrobats, speed, stamina, and steady nerves are stock in trade, while skids and spills are part of the job. The cycles flash nearer and nearer as our cameraman moves in for a close-up. Help! Uh-oh, watch your language. One of the most famous of motorcycle races is the annual 200-mile classic on the slippery, shifting sands of Florida's Daytona Beach, where the cyclist who doesn't cruise along at 90 miles an hour is considered somewhat of a sissy. A steep embankment seems to have the same attraction for cycle racers as the flame has for the moth. Racing fans, the fondest of memories is of Altoona's Mammoth Lumber Speedway, a gigantic circle big enough to enclose a flock of football fields. On this wondrous wooden saucer, the speed track terrors of the 20s dueled it out. They fought for position high above the ground on planks supported by a spider web of scaffolding. Altoona's wooden track belonged to the fabulous Roaring Twenties, and abandoned in 1930 to the ravages of rot, it died with the 20s. Today, of the oil-soaked plank roadway upon which hundreds of drivers gambled their lives, not a splinter remains. But at Altoona and elsewhere, dirt track racing is going strong. Huddled grimly behind their steering wheels are the old pros at a dangerous, exacting game. And like the dirt track cyclists, even when they stay upright, they bite the dust. You are witnessing a duel to the death. Two racers, wheel to wheel. Sometimes on the overstrained cars, something gives way. One misjudgment can ring down the curtain. A sudden, sickening loss of balance. A driver hopelessly out of control. Races which flourished at the beginning of the century when the auto was new are still run occasionally to fill the countryside with roaring motors, castor oil fumes, and four-wheel danger. Indianapolis, super-powered cars thunder toward the starting line, and they're off in the world's greatest auto racing classic. Averaging as high as 129 miles an hour, the speedsters whiz around and around in a race that's 500 miles long, with a chance of trouble every foot of the way. Flame or fury, the race roars on. In recent years, a new kind of sporting madness has swept the country. Midget auto racing. With stripped-down bodies and souped-up fuel, these lightning Lilliputians flash around a track bank steep for speed. This is stock car racing, and the sands of Daytona Beach come alive with 100 hot rods in a contest you'll have to see to believe. On Madman's Curve, this crack-up classic comes to a crashing climax. For the darndest, dizziest, dustiest, and most dangerous race of them all, take a dirt track and fill it with stock cars held together by chicken wire and pure fool nerve. The result is a jalopy jam fest, a nightmare on wheels. As the race continues, a madness seems to sweep over the contestants. Hold on to your seat, for you are witnessing the craziest, most stupendous mass crack-up in all auto racing history. Miraculously, no one is killed in an accident that goes on and on. This crack-up belongs to the past, but there'll be more like it, for the demon of racing seems to infect us all. Who'll have the next ride in the shattering saga of too much speed?